What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So, Krishna here, and I'm back because the Halloween Cup is here. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a great time in season 9. Yes, it's been a while since I've uploaded. I've been talking about working on a consistent upload schedule, which has been pretty hard, honestly, because life's been pretty hectic of late. But I really wanted to put out this video because in this video, I'm going to be showcasing a really exciting triple poison team comp in the Halloween Cup, right? Basically consisting of Golbat on the lead with Drapion as the safe swap and Alolan Muk in the back. This is basically a triple poison double dark line, and it works like an ABB line where you lead with Golbat and then you safe swap into Drapion to potentially bait out something like Toxicroak, Nidoqueen, etc. So that Alolan Muk has a pretty clear path to sweep towards endgame, right? And the reason why Poison is so strong in Halloween is because there aren't too many Confusion users or ground types in the Halloween meta. I mean, Confusion users aren't too much of a problem because you have double dark in the back, and there aren't too many ground types as well, right? Except for probably something like Nidoqueen or Golurk, and Golurk honestly isn't that common, but even then, I mean, you have Golbat which can completely wall something like Nidoqueen, right? And like I said, honestly, this team worked really well for me. I went positive in most of the sets that I did with this team. So I decided to put together some of the best battles from multiple sets of battles that I did. And there were some really exciting ones in there. So let's just get straight into it. Okay, moving on to the first battle here. I'm going to be obviously leading with Golbat with Drapion as the safe swap and Alolan Muk as the closer. I use Drapion as the safe swap in most of the scenarios, but there are very specific scenarios where I do safe swap into Alolan Muk. So we have Golbat into a Toxicroak here fantastically. They make a switch into their Mandibuzz. So at this point, I'm actually going to throw the Poison Fang to lower their defense and then go into my Alolan Muk right now. I want to switch into my Alolan Muk because Alolan Muk obviously has a better matchup against Mandibuzz than Drapion. Obviously, we don't really have a hard check to Mandibuzz in this team. You're going to have to manage. But again, because of that debuff defense, Sludge Wave is going to do a ton of neutral damage, right? I'm not going to shield this. I'm going to let this go through as well. It's another Aerial Ace. Does quite a bit of neutral damage, but I'm going to go for the Sludge Wave here. Again, Mandibuzz is extremely tanky, but then again, because of that lower defense, it's going to do massive damage. Does about 60% of Mandibuzz's health, which is fantastic. And I'm going to try and build up to a Dark Pulse here, but they make a switch into their Toxicroak to catch the Dark Pulse, right? Which is okay by me as well. And they end up shielding that. I'm not sure why, because they didn't really have to do that. But at this point, they basically switch locked themselves against the Golbat, which is fantastic. I'm just going to let it go through. Everything is resisted. Sludge Bomb still does quite a bit of resisted damage there. And I'm just going to go with the Poison Fang here. Poison Fang is resisted, but I want to be able to lower its defense so that I can completely farm it down, right? I'm hoping I can farm it down before they can get to another move. I'm able to do it, which is fantastic. And then I'm just going to go for the Poison Fang against this Mandibuzz here. Mandibuzz is extremely low and should go down to this Poison Fang. And let's see what they have in the back. And they have an Azumarill in the back, and this is GG's right now, right? I mean, as you can see, we didn't even need Drapion in this situation. And a lot of times I've observed you can take out a lot of different team comps with just two of these Pokemon, right? With Golbat and probably one of Drapion or Alolan Muk there. So anyways, moving on to the second battle here. Obviously, it gets a little bit more intense as we progress. We have Golbat into a Mawile here. So this is actually pretty interesting. It's not a Shadow Mawile. It's a regular Mawile with Ice Fang. So that's like a really spicy moveset, which is not good for Golbat, right? I think Ice Fang is pretty solid in the Halloween meta because it's going to do super effective against Mandibuzz, Golbat, Nidoqueen, etc. But yeah, I'm just going to come in with my Drapion here and I'm going to let it go through. Just going to be a power-up punch because it was too soon to be anything else. Obviously, those Ice Fangs are really adding up. Now, I'm just going to try and spam as many Aqua Tails as possible. Again, Drapion is arguably one of the best Pokemon in the Halloween meta. I mean, simply because it's just so versatile and doesn't really have any real weakness. Because even against ground types, you're going to be able to hit for super effective with Aqua Tail, right? I'm going to let the next Power Punch go through. I'm barely able to get to another Aqua Tail here. And again, because of that energy gain from Poison Sting, it's just absolutely solid there. And they let that go through. We win switch advantage, which is huge. And then they come in with their Haunter, which is fantastic, right? This is exactly why we have Alolan Muk in the back. And a lot of people would not expect that second Dark type in the back, right? Which is fantastic. So I'm going to let it go through. Everything Haunter has is resisted by Alolan Muk. Obviously, with Gengar, you have to watch out for Focus Blast, whereas with Haunter, everything is resisted, right? Because of that Dark Poison typing. I'm going to let the next Shadow Punch go through as well. The fact that they're still staying in tells me that they could have something else in the back, which is also potentially weak to Alolan Muk. So I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse here, and then let's see what they have in the back. They have a Frosslass in the back. I'm just going to try and go for another Dark Pulse. And it gets a little bit tricky right now because, again, Golbat doesn't have a great matchup against Frosslass, and I don't want to stay in that matchup because they're going to be able to farm down with Powder Snow, right? And definitely you don't want to go up against a Frosslass with loaded energy there. So I'm going to shield this up, and then I'm just going to try and go straight for the Shadow Ball. The thing with Golbat is most people expect the Poison Fang shield bait. So I'm just going to go straight for the Shadow Ball right now, and they actually let that go through and it just one-shots it there. So that was like a very bait-dependent matchup. Honestly, I probably still would have barely made it to the next Shadow Ball, but you never know. And that's exactly why I prefer a regular Golbat over Shadow Golbat, because I definitely want that little bit of extra tankiness there, right? because again, Shadow Ball even from a regular Golbat still does a lot of damage. So we have a Zweillous in the lead. Again, this team doesn't really have a hard check against Zweillous. I'm just going to stay in with Golbat, obviously, because Drapion definitely does not have a great matchup against it. I'm going to shield this up because, again, Dragon Breath is really adding up, right? So I just want to go for as many Poison Fangs as possible. These Air Slashes are really adding up as well. Just going to go for another Poison Fang here. This is probably going to take out the Zweillous if it goes unshielded. It does get the shield, which is okay. Immediately going to switch into my Drapion right now, and they make a switch into their Galvantula. Now this is fine, right? Because we are ahead on energy. I'm going to be able to go for a crunch right now. It's going to do massive neutral damage against Galvantula. It does about 70% of Galvantula's health there. And I'm going to shield this up because Lunge is going to do a lot of neutral damage because of that dark poison typing. And I'm going to overfarm a little bit, and I'm going to throw the Aqua Tail on the second Volt Switch, right? Before they can get one of the Lunge. Does get the shield there, and I'm going to try and completely farm it down, hopefully before they can get one of the move. Unfortunately, we're not able to get it. It's fine. This is definitely going to take us out. It is a discharge, and I'm going to be able to come in with Alolan Muk and farm down for quite a bit of energy, right? So yeah, I'm just going to be able to farm down and get ahead on energy by a couple of Snarls here. And they come back with their Zweillous, and I was actually trying to switch into my Golbat to catch the Body Slam. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get it in time, but it's okay. And then at this point, yeah, I'm just going to go for a Dark Pulse right now, right? Even though this is resisted, it's still going to do enough damage to take out the Zweillous from this range, as it does there. And then they have a Jellicent at the back, and this is GG's right now. A lot of people have a lot of Ghost types in the back, Frosslass, Jellicent, Haunter, etc. And yeah, Dark Pulse is going to do a lot of super effective damage. Immediately switching into my Golbat right now. And we do face a little bit of lag here, but fortunately I'm able to get to a Poison Fang just in time. And they were probably trying to build up some extra energy there, because even if they're thrown, I could have come in with my Alolan Muk and farmed it down there, right? So as you can see, this team is like really, really solid. And again, there are quite a few Ghost types in the meta. Personally, I don't prefer it as much because of how common, Mandibuzz, Umbreon, other Alolan Muk, Drapion, etc. are. It's just very difficult to manage with Ghost types in this meta, right? So anyways, moving on to the next battle here. We have Golbat against a Drapion. This is actually not a great matchup. Again, this team doesn't really have a hard response to some of those dark poison types like Drapion, Skunk Tank, Alolan Muk, etc. So I'm going to try and catch the crunch on my Drapion here, which we do, which is fantastic. And I don't get the defense debuff, which is really good. So I'm going to go for an Aqua Tail right now. Obviously, you want to go for that in this mirror matchup. Honestly, Crunch probably still does a little bit more damage because it has Stab and it's obviously a better move. But anyways, they go for another Crunch. They're probably running Crunch and Sludge Bomb. The reason I'm running Aqua Tail is especially to provide that neutral coverage against some of those ground types, ground poison types like Nidoqueen, right? But they make a really nice switch into their Azumarill to catch the Aqua Tail. I'm going to try and go for a Crunch right now. Obviously, really trying to hoping for a defense debuff here. Unfortunately, we don't get it. So immediately going to switch into my Golbat and try and go for the Poison Fang right now. I still want to preserve my Drapion as a potential sack swap towards endgame. And then Charge Move is going to come through. I'm definitely going to shield this because Ice Beam is going to be super effective. Obviously, because of that flying typing on Golbat. And then, yeah, just going to try and build up a little extra energy and go for the Poison Fang right here, right? Poison Fang is going to take out the Azumarill right now or get the shield. And it does get the shield. They're probably very close to another charge move, but they make a switch into their Frosslass. I'm just going to go straight for the Shadow Ball right now. I either want to get their shield or take out the Frosslass, right? And it does get the shield, which is fantastic. And at this point, I'm just staying in. I'm hoping that they decide to throw and they'd throw, right? If they'd farmed the Golbat down, it would have been really dangerous, right? But luckily, they decided to throw. I'm going to come in with my Alolan Muk right now. I decided to come in as soon as possible because I want to make sure that they're still stuck in this matchup, right? I don't want to wait out the switch timer because they switched in, and I want to be able to get rid of this Frosslass before they can switch out there. So I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse right now. Probably should get this, it does take out the Frosslass, beg your pardon. We're able to get it in time. And yeah, it's going to be interesting right now, right? They actually come in with their Azumarill. I knew they had loaded energy, so I switch into my Drapion and catch the Ice Beam right here. And yeah, this is probably almost for sure going to guarantee the win right now, right? And they come in with their Drapion right now. And yeah, nothing they have is going to KO from this range. So I'm just going to let it go through. It is a crunch. And unfortunately, we get the defense debuff. So I'm going to overfarm by a couple of Snarls and go for the Dark Pulse right now because I want to be a little ahead on energy, right? Dark Pulse is definitely going to take out the Drapion from that range. And I'm barely able to get one of the Dark Pulse here. And even though this is resisted, it should still barely do enough damage to take out the Azumarill. Probably should have gone. I could have gone for Sludge Wave, but I was worried if they were close to an Ice Beam or something. But yeah, Dark Pulse would be enough from that range anyways there. So luckily, I decided to preserve the Drapion because if I hadn't sack swapped to catch the Ice Beam, I wouldn't have been able to do it, right? So we have Golbat into a Nidoqueen right now. Really solid matchup. You definitely want to catch Nidoqueen on the lead because Golbat completely walls Nidoqueen, right? Whereas the backline doesn't really have a great matchup against Nidoqueen there. So I'm actually going to build up a little extra energy. I was worried about them switching out. So I'm just going to go straight Shadow Ball right now. And it does give the shield. And at this point, I'm going to let this go through as well, right? But as you can see, because of the Poison Fang debuff, those Poison Jabs are really adding up. And then, yeah, at this point, I'm just going to go for the Poison Fang right now. Obviously, this is double resisted because of the Poison Ground typing. But yeah, I really wanted to lower its defense so that it puts it into Aqua Tail range, right? So I'm going to switch in my Drapion here and try and go for the Aqua Tail as soon as possible. Obviously going to do super effective damage because of the ground typing on Nidoqueen. And this is still staying in, which tells me they're probably going to go for the Earth Power. I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to shield. Luckily, we shield that because the Earth Power is definitely going to one-shot the Drapion. They make a switch into their Umbreon, right? Again, this team doesn't really have a solid response against some of those dark types. You're going to have to like manage them like with, you know, you just kind of have to spam Aqua Tail, Sludge Wave, Poison Fang, etc., right? But anyways, they go for Psychic. Luckily, this Umbreon doesn't have Last Resort. I mean, Umbreons with Last Resort can be really tricky to deal with. But anyways, I'm just going to try and go for another Aqua Tail, try and spam as many of them as possible here, as it barely does any damage. But I'm actually going to switch it to my Alolan Muk here, because Alolan Muk has a better matchup against Umbreon than Drapion, because at least you can do quite a bit of damage with Sludge Wave, right? And I'm expecting them to switch into their Nidoqueen. Actually, they were trying to switch into Nidoqueen to catch the Sludge Wave, but luckily I decided to overfarm. I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse right now. It's definitely going to take out the Nidoqueen from that range. And they come in with their Azumarill. Their switch timer is not back up yet. I'm just going to go straight for the Sludge Wave right now. Going to do massive, super effective damage because of the Fairy typing on Azumarill. And then, yeah, I'm just going to try and go for another Dark Pulse right now, right? And then, yeah, I'm definitely going to shield this because we're probably in Ice Beam range. Yeah, Play Rough would have definitely taken us out from that range. So I'm going to overfarm a little bit here and then go for the Dark Pulse. This is definitely going to do enough resisted damage to take out the Azumarill. Actually, it doesn't quite do enough damage, but I'm able to farm down, which is even better because I have I'm ahead on energy right now, right? Charge move coming through again. This Umbreon does not have Last Resort, so nothing they have is going to KO. Psychic is resisted as well because of the Poison Dark typing. Obviously, Dark double resisting Psychic, whereas Poison taking super effective damage. So anyways, going to go for the Sludge Wave. Doesn't quite KO, but luckily we have a loaded Aqua Tail on Drapion. I'm going to be able to get it off. It's going to take out the Umbreon. So we still have all three of our Pokemon left, and that's just how in certain situations this team can like work really well, right? There can be a lot of one-sided matchups, but yeah, there are certain situations where it can be pretty difficult to handle there. So again, Umbreon is actually pretty difficult to deal with, especially if it's running Last Resort. That can be a little challenging for the backline because Last Resort does quite a bit of neutral damage against both Alolan Muk and Drapion as well, right? But you're going to be able to chip away with Aqua Tail, and of course Sludge Wave still does a ton of damage even against a tank like Umbreon there. So moving on to the next battle here, we have Golbat against a Golbat. So there's actually a mirror matchup. It's against a Shadow Golbat actually. So I'm going to stay in and then I'm just going to overfarm a little bit, and they decide to throw one Air Slash short of Shadow Ball, right? So there's definitely going to be a Poison Fang right here. It is a Poison Fang, but I'm actually going to go straight for the Shadow Ball right now. I'm not going to bait in this matchup. I'm just going to go straight Shadow Ball, and then this is going to do massive damage, right? As you can see, just does so much damage right there. I'm going to be able to farm it down as well. Unfortunately, they're able to get one of the Poison Fang, and I'm going to have to let it go through. Gets is pretty low, but I'm going to be able to win switch advantage, which is crucial. And then let's see what they have in the back. And they have a Nidoqueen in the back. I'm going to try and get to a Poison Fang. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of lag and I'm not able to get. This is where it gets really tricky, right? Especially if they have Nidoqueen in the back. This is exactly why you want to switch out of the lead matchup, basically to bait out Pokemon like Nidoqueen, Toxicroak, etc. Because once Golbat goes down, it's really challenging to deal with it. So at this point, I've decided to call the shield bait, but unfortunately, they go straight for the Earth Power, and it's just GG's right now. It just one-shots the Drapion there, and there's not a lot Alolan Muk can do right now because they're going to continuously debuff Alolan Muk with Poison Fang, right? Because this is almost for sure going to be a Poison Fang. I'm not going to shield this, but then again, it's still going to add up because, yeah, they've lowered our defense. There's no way for me to clear it right now, right? Because I can't switch out of this matchup anymore. I'm going to have to shield this. This is just going to be another Poison Fang, but yeah, there's not a lot of play here, right? And they come in with their Azumarill. I'm just going to go for the Sludge Wave right now, but yeah, this is GG's at this point. So definitely a bit of a misplay. Again, I probably should have switched out of that opening matchup. As soon as I landed the Shadow Ball on the Golbat, I probably should have switched into my Drapion to bait out their Nidoqueen because I definitely needed to preserve the Golbat there, right? But anyways, like I said, this team definitely works like an ABB line. You want to preserve the lead for as much as possible because, I mean, even Nidoqueen isn't as much of a problem. Something like Toxicroak is like the real problem, right? Because it completely walls Alolan Muk, and even Drapion has a pretty poor matchup against it. So yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't get over the line there. But anyways, moving on to the next one here. We have Golbat into Dusclops. It's a pretty interesting matchup this. I'm going to immediately switch into my Drapion here. once again, I mean, especially if I see ghosts on the lead, I like to immediately save swap because we have double hard counters in the back. They go for Fire Punch right there, and I was expecting them to switch out, but they are still staying in. Gonna go for the Crunch right now. It does get the shield and does get the defense debuff as well, which is huge right now. I'm gonna be able to get to another Crunch here. I'm not sure why they're still staying in. They probably don't have a solid response to a Drapion, and it just does massive, super effective damage there. And then I'm gonna let it go through as well, right? I mean, it's probably just gonna be another Fire Punch. We definitely don't have to shield that, and it's an Aqua Tail range right now. So I'm gonna go straight for the Aqua Tail right now. This is gonna take out the Dusclops from this range if it goes unshielded, and they decide to let that go through, which is fine. And they come in with their Wigglytuff, so I don't know why they didn't switch into their Wigglytuff against my Drapion, but anyways, gonna come in with my Golbat here, and I'm expecting them to switch once again, and they make a switch into their Beedrill. I'm gonna go straight Shadow Ball right now, right? I either want to get their shield or do massive neutral damage right now. It does so much damage right there, and then, yeah, Golbat completely walls Beedrill, right? Beedrill has no play against Golbat because everything is resisted. I mean, Fell Stinger is double resisted, and then I'm gonna be able to farm it down here, and it's just GG's at this point because Wigglytuff against a loaded Golbat doesn't really have too much play, right? Also, we have a full health Alolan Muk in the back, and yeah, and 2 shields as well. So this is as convincing as it can get. And like I said, when this team works, it just works really well, right? But yeah, I'm gonna be able to completely farm it down right now, and that's gonna take the win for us there. So we still had a loaded Poison Fang on Golbat, 2 shields and a full health Alolan Muk, and yeah, against certain, especially against Ghost leads, this team can work really well because you can immediately switch into your Drapion and, you know, really get ahead on energy there. So we have Golbat into an Ariados. Fantastic lead this once again. Again, Ariados has no play against Golbat, right? Everything is resisted right now. Charge move is going to come through. Unfortunately, they're going to be able to debuff with Lunge. Lunge is double resisted because of the poison flying typing. And I decided to not throw. I was hoping I can completely farm it down. Honestly, I should have thrown the Poison Fang a little quicker because I really wanted to get it off before that debuff, right? I'm going to go for the Poison Fang here because I'm not going to be able to farm it down because of the lowered attack. Yeah, at this point, I'm just going to try and farm it down. They're probably going to get one of the Lunge right now. It's absolutely fine. We can survive it. And I'm going to be able to come out of this matchup with a lot of loaded energy, right? So I'm going to completely farm it down here, immediately switching into my Drapion because I don't want to stay in that matchup because I want to clear the debuffs there. They come into their Scizor right now. Charge move is going to come through. This is just going to be a Night Slash. It was too soon to be an Iron Head. It ends up being an X-Scissor, which is unexpected. You expect most Scizors to run Night Slash and X-Scissor, but I mean, Night Slash and Iron Head, but X-Scissor makes sense as well. But anyways, they make a switch into their Crawdaunt, go for the Night Slash here. I'm going to go for the Aqua Tail. Now, Crawdaunt is an extreme, I mean, it's just an absolute glass cannon, right? Gonna go for the Aqua Tail. They don't shield that, and I'm gonna go for the Crunch right now, right? Crunch, even though it's resisted, still gonna do massive resisted damage in this matchup as it does there. And if they decide to farm down, I'm gonna be able to get to another Aqua Tail, right? Which is fantastic. This is either gonna get the shield or take out the Crawdaunt from this range, and does take out the Crawdaunt there. They come back with their Scizor, and at this point, I'm actually gonna, I mean, this is their final Pokemon, so I'm gonna come in with my Golbat and try and go for the back-to-back Shadow Balls, right? I'm not gonna go for the Poison Fang because I either want to get their both their shields or pretty much take out the Scizor there. So I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball right now. This is again going to do massive damage in this matchup, as you can see. That just does so much damage. I'm going to be able to come in with my Alolan Muk and completely farm it down there. There's no point baiting because if they didn't shield the Poison Fang, that would have been a little bit tricky. We probably still would have won that anyways, but yeah, it would have been a little challenging there. And yeah, I just got a shiny Giratina to boot. I mean, it's my first one actually. I couldn't find any in raids, but it's always nice to get some Giratina XL candy to probably build for Mask League. I still haven't built a Giratina altered for Mask League yet, so this is definitely going to help there. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I've been trying to promise uploading consistently at least once or twice a week. It just hasn't happened, honestly. You know, it's been like really difficult for me to get back into the game, but I've been trying a little bit more. I mean, hopefully in the next week or a couple of weeks, I'll try and get like 2 or 3 videos out, and hopefully after that, probably a video every day or every other day. It's definitely coming soon enough. Even, you know, a lot of people have been asking for Discord as well, for battle submissions. Everything's opening up soon. Hopefully by the first week of November, I'll be able to like get back into the full swing of things, right? But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you have success with this team comp. Hope it works well for you. And if you're struggling to figure out team comps with Halloween Cup and have success with, I highly recommend this one there. It's a little bit expensive, but especially with Drapion requiring 75k for the double move, but I'm pretty sure most of you might have built it already. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.